Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Couch Co-op Podcast. This is episode 18. I'm Riley, joined by Cal as always. How are you doing?
What's I'm doing good. How are you, man?
Yeah, same old stuff, bro. Yep.
It's been a pretty slow week as far as everything, but we'll find something to shit on. So, which brings me to topic number one of today. And like I said before, I hate that every week Call of Duty has just another L. Man, I don't know how many more L's Call of Duty can take
hmm
before it just ceases to exist as a company. But it was just announced this week that they are going to be monitoring voice chat for naughty words, and anyone found saying those naughty words will be banned. So effectively, everyone in the Call of Duty player base is going to get banned
Yeah, exactly.
next week or whenever it goes live.
Uh-huh. People just say whatever they want in those lobbies, man. No one is safe.
Oh, dude, it I guess you can turn off. The only like way that you're really safe is to turn off your voice settings, like so you can't talk in game.
hmm
But that's like I would say that is one of the only things that modern Call of Duty has done right is having the hot mic.
hmm
Like hot mic in Call of Duty is one of the greatest things I think ever they've ever done.
Yeah.
But I mean that effectively renders that pointless. Like it doesn't make sense.
hmm And what was I gonna say? Well, it's like some of the funniest moments are when you're playing like Warzone 2, for example, and because you have like proximity chat in that
Yeah.
game, it's just the weirdest encounters. That's ripping a core staple from the Call of Duty franchise. If this does end up like how they want it to, or it'll end up like Bully Hunters, which we've talked about once, and it's just be forgotten about.
I genuinely think, I mean, I think most people are self-aware enough not to say bad words, like the really bad words, like the I don't know, the big 3 or 4 that you really shouldn't say. I feel like
hmm
most people are genuinely mostly self-aware, but I mean, I've been called the N-word before, playing Call of Duty. Like I feel like everybody has,
Yeah.
but it made me think like, okay, so without getting I hate that I have to like put myself in context here, but I feel like I have to. There is a certain, the certain population that can say that word. What happens when they say that word? Like it's effectively making voice chats just or proximity chat. It's effectively making proximity chat, not safe for anybody, even the people who traditionally are able to use that word. I think it'll be interesting to see how long they stick with it.
Yeah. In that context, I think that Twitch has a certain terms of service that's kind of similar to that, where even if you are black, for example, you still can't say the N word. Like you'll get banned regardless, even if you're not the streamer. You could be in like a Rainbow Six lobby with Wings of Redemption, for example, and get Wings of Redemption banned, which I'm pretty sure has happened actually. But
Yeah.
um, but like besides the whole N word thing, like just like curse words and like profanity and stuff and making fun of people. That's like I was doing that last night on Minecraft, not like in like voice chat, but I was
Right.
playing with my cousin and I was like typing like you guys suck, you're the worst teammates ever, and all this stuff, and then this like kind of gets me to thinking about some of the best times that I've had playing Call of Duty multiplayer, and it was back in I want to say 2016, 2017. I kind of got my PlayStation 4 like a year or so after Black Ops 3 kind of rounded out its life cycle. But I used to play public matches, hardcore team deathmatch with these group of like older guys and other gals, and they're like old Canadian dudes who would sip on Jaeger and just say the most foul stuff you've ever heard to everybody, and it was hilarious. They never wanted to be in like a party chat. They always wanted to be in game chat so they can talk a bunch of smack to the other team at the end of the match. So That's like where like the core of my multiplayer and Call of Duty like good memories come from. So it would be disappointing if people were banned for stupid things, or I mean, I don't know. I'm not quite sure like what the actual um terms of this new feature is. Like, do you get banned just for saying like "f you, dude" or something like that? Do you know?
So I don't know precisely, and I did some research and I didn't really find anything because I don't feel like they've put like brackets around its capabilities yet for their own purposes. But like I see downstream effects of this, man. Like I, I don't know. Again, I don't know how they are even considering implementing this because, say, like you're a whale, right? And you just buy skins like you're like it's food, you know, like it's ramen or something. Like you can't live without these skins, but you also are a frequent abuser of the N word, you know. Like all it's going to take is for a few of the whales to get banned and start posting on social media and stuff. Like I feel like I hope, and I think it would be a net positive for the community. But if people start getting banned for saying bad words, they're going to stop buying skins, and
Hmm.
basically, like the whole player base of Call of Duty could just be gone. I think. I mean, I might be, I might be like hoping a little too hopeful there, but
Hmm.
I just, man, modern Call of Duty just does not understand their players. Like it doesn't understand gaming, like the gaming industry, anything.
Hmm. And I think that they keep forgetting that Call of Duty is an M-rated game. It's
Right.
it's rated that for a reason, and only like adults are supposed to buy it. But I think we all started playing Call of Duty much earlier than that. But um, yeah, and then also just with any other online game, there's always a mute button. It's just I don't know. I just think the answer is way too simple, and they're overcomplicating it, and they're just catering to this side of it for whatever reason. So
Yeah, it's I saw people equating it to like a woke like a woke company going woke. Like you can't say bad words anymore, and like I mean maybe there's some merit to that. Like we'll get into another company that made some quote unquote woke decisions, and
hmm.
we'll talk about that later. But you know, I mean I don't know if it's as much that as it just to me is like you said, it's a M-rated game. If there's people playing the game that can't handle bad words or naughty words or hurtful words,
Hmm.
getting called the R word or whatever, whatever it is, whatever they're trying to eliminate there, like you shouldn't be playing an M-rated game. I'm sorry. Like if you're not an adult enough to hear bad words and to be able to just say, "Oh, that guy called me a bad word," and laugh it off, then you shouldn't be playing the game in the first place, personally.
Yeah.
But I grew up in a different era, man. I remember the Black Ops 2 lobbies, man. They were filthy. They were disgusting. Like
Hmm.
you got called all like yeah. It was and there's memes that go around about that like kids today couldn't survive Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops 2 lobbies. So
Hmm. Yeah. And I just thought of this too because I used to play Black Ops 2 Zombies when I didn't have any of the DLCs. I would just play Town over and over again. And this one guy, he would just like nonchalant. I don't know if he was black or not, but he would just nonchalantly use the N word over and over again, just like as a figure of speech. So like, if you're just like a black guy or a Mexican in California and you haven't been told no, and you're saying the N word over and over again, well, what then? What if that's just like a part of their speech? Because, like you said earlier, they just kind of grew up with that. It's
mhm.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how they handle this.
Yeah, the biggest thing about it that I think is sketchy, aside from the whole thing, is that along with I mean it's the only way they can do it is monitoring it with AI. They have some AI system built in to their, and it sounds a lot like, and I feel like they're trying to keep up with the one Xbox did because Xbox basically implemented the same thing a few weeks ago. And so I feel like it's becoming an industry standard. And like you said, they're overcomplicating the issue. It's like, I'm sorry that somebody said a bad word, but that's not really anything we as a company can do. anything about. But
Yeah, what they should do is just add like they have a message of the day, put in like if you're being harassed, block and press the mute button. I
yeah,
think it's just as simple as that.
right. Yeah, well, and it's like, it's like X or what, Twitter, like before Elon took over. Like, there's definitely, since Elon has taken over, there's been more, freedom of speech than there used to be.
Hmm.
Is that good or bad? But you always have the block button. You
Hmm.
always have the mute button. Isn't the block button getting taken away? Whatever.
I haven't heard about that in a while. I'm not sure.
I feel like that's not happening. I don't think
Yeah.
legally they can,
Hmm.
from what somebody said, but yeah, you've always got the block button. You should be an adult about it. Like, yes, the other person should be adult. Don't say bad words, but
Hmm.
it's just kind of the industry that you're in. So,
Yeah.
anyways, another Call of Duty L
Hmm.
for you there.
So while we're still on video games, I thought we should talk about Starfield a bit.
Yeah.
It's been I think that reviews are mostly positive, which is nice to see. Um, from what I've seen personally, I don't know. It doesn't look like a game I would really spend much time in. It's so one thing that I was really excited about was exploring because there's 1,000 procedurally generated planets, and that's just kind of how it is in the game. And they really tried to nail that home in their marketing, but in multiple reviews that I've watched, when you go to those planets, you can only explore sections of them. You can't walk all the way around. You can't do that. You have to like land your ship. You go to an invisible wall. You go back to your ship. You land it somewhere else on the planet. You go to another invisible wall. You pretty much go in a circle that way, and it's really annoying. But there's also another part where the procedural generation kind of stabs them in the back a bit, where sometimes either there are zero points of interest on planets, so there's nothing besides maybe like minerals or whatever that you can mine, or there's like some structures, but a lot of them are just like copy and pasted, and they don't change around a lot. So you could like find like one really cool one. Like I saw, it was Luke Stevens. He posted his review, and one point about this was that he found like a mining operation. There was, Bethesda is known for the visual storytelling. It's great, and it's like pirates invaded the mine. They cleared it out because there's like an alien skeleton at the bottom. That's cool, right? But then you go to another planet, and then there is an identical one right there. So it kind of loses like the
Mm.
specialty of it. So I don't know. I just think that it's a lot more limiting than people might think it is, and that does kind of dampen my excitement if I ever do end up playing the game. So yeah, that's
Yeah, the same way. I've been watching reviews. I was expecting them to be like 60s ish, but from what I've seen overall, it's probably like a 79 to like 85 is the average I've seen.
hmm,
And so the biggest point, like contrary to what you're saying, like on the taking the opposing side, is like what I've seen people saying is yes, you do hit like a boundary and you can only go so far on each of these planets, but also do you want to explore like 100 miles of nothing
hmm,
and just like, because like say I don't know, I mean I guess you could populate all those planets and just have like thousands of enemies on each planet that you could fight through, but that's not really realistic. Like a lot of these planets, if you think it's supposed to be like 200 years in the future, 300 years in the future, I don't know the timeline of it, but it's not like they really did themselves a disservice advertising it as there's over 1,000 planets you can explore and you can do all this stuff, and and like it's procedurally generated and stuff. And I think that what they were setting everyone up for was a Minecraft level of procedurally generated planets that you can literally do anything. Like Minecraft, you can find like a, I'm not very up with Minecraft lingo, but you can find like a fortress in the nether, or whatever, or you can find nothing and you can go like hours without finding anything.
hmm,
So I think like that's what we were expecting, and what they gave us was like a very, like you said, very limited like view of that. And like I guess they could have opened it up so you can explore the whole planet, but would you really want to just explore empty rock? Is kind of what I've seen people saying about it, kind of defending it.
Hmm.
That being said, I mean, it's a Bethesda game. I did expect a little more out of them as far as staying, keeping their promise, because I have seen a lot of people complaining about that. I think there's only actually about 600 like quote unquote planets you can explore, but I think if you add in like there's like 600 moons in
Yeah.
there, so there's technically over 1,000 planets. And so yeah, it's kind of messy, it's kind of dicey. I think I have seen some really, I don't want to do any spoilers here. I did see a really cool, Bethesda-esque storyline
Hmm.
that like got me excited to play the game. Like if they have a lot of quests like that in there, but I don't know.
Yeah, I saw some people on Twitter who were complaining that they couldn't land on stars, gas giants, and stuff like that. And people were like, "Well, of course not. You would die instantly."
Right.
So, I don't know.
Right. Like I saw somebody that was, the gas giant is a good example. Like you want to land on the sun? Like you want to
Mhm.
land on like, come on, let's be a little more realistic here.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean that is a fair argument though. That why would you want to explore a barren planet? Like I just think I would have rather waited another year or two for them just to completely ditch the procedural generation and just handcraft
Yeah.
everything. I think that's where Bethesda does their games the strongest, is with their handcrafted narratives and worlds and whatnot. I just think that would have been, maybe even make them smaller so you can go around the entire thing in one go instead of doing separate loading screens. I just think that that would have been a much better way to do it, and yeah, that's just my opinion on on that whole thing.
Did you ever play any of the Mario games growing up?
Um, I
Like,
played a couple of them later on, but not
did you ever
really.
play Super Mario Galaxy?
No.
See, and that's a good example. Like you're saying, make the planets smaller, so yes, you can explore them all and have more to do. It's not a great comparison, but on Mario Galaxy, you jump from like planet to planet, and they're like super close. It's not realistic, but you can jump from like planet to planet, and they're all like small enough you can explore them all. And I feel like that would have been a better way for them to go. Is don't make these huge, ginormous planets that are bigger than Earth, but you can't explore them. Make them smaller, make them a little more realistic, and have like civilizations on all of them. And like again, like, but I mean, we could have waited another 30 years for a game like that if they were handcrafting it all. So
Hmm.
I feel like I said, I don't think they did themselves any favors, but I also feel like they in their marketing they didn't do themselves any favors. But I also feel like people were like there was some unrealistic expectations on the gamer side, because I have seen
Yeah.
so many people ranting about it,
Hmm.
which is funny because the game's not even out yet. Like you could pay like an extra $30 to get like 5 days early access, I
Yeah,
guess, and
that's
so
right.
people did that.
Yeah,
But
I think it actually comes out on like the 6th, but people got it on the 1st of
yeah,
this September. But yeah, speaking of ranting, I saw this one video on Twitter, and I don't want to stay on this topic for too long because it's kind of going into identity politics, but this guy on Twitter, he was in the character creator, and you could choose your pronouns, and after he saw that, he flipped out. He threw his headset off. You could see the headphone dent, and he just starts yelling like an ape. Why are you doing this? Stop pushing this agenda in my game. Just what all these guys say, right? And it's like, one, if you choose the pronoun, that's it. You never like see it or like really notice it again, because you're just gonna be called whatever your character is anyway. So it's, I don't know. I think that these people that just kind of blow those out of proportion don't really, they're the same people who complain about snowflakes and stuff, and how they can't, like we were talking about Modern Warfare 2 lobbies, or like they can't do that, and it's just the same argument is being thrown at each other back and forth, and none of it has any substance because it's all on Twitter, and I've called it a zoo before because it is. They're all animals, and they can't. None of them are literate. It's just and then kind of veering off. Doctor Disrespect also was ranting about it, and then people were making fun of him and stuff. So I don't know. It's it's wild on that front. Not really talking about the game itself, but yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't see the guy get really upset and throw his headset, but I did see Doctor Disrespect's take on it,
Hmm.
and like I think, and I'm pretty like middle road person. Like I try to see both sides of everything.
Yeah.
Like if they're gonna put that in there, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that so much as like if they are like if the entire game is about pushing an agenda, that's where I have a personal problem about it
Hmm.
or a problem with it. I'm not political. I don't care either way. I really could care less. You do
Hmm.
this or that, but I don't want to hear about it like for 45 hours or 70 hours or whatever, like don't make that the main point of the game. Getting back to like I don't even think we were doing the podcast when it came out, the Hogwarts Legacy stuff that happened,
Oh.
like there was a big controversy about that. And it was like anti LGB, I don't actually, it wasn't. I actually played it, and there's actually a trans person in the game. So it's like they're so anti-trans or transphobe when they make the game, but they put a trans character with a pretty prominent role in the game. Like it doesn't make sense. I
Hmm.
just think both sides go so far. They both go so crazy on this way or that way, when really it's like, it's like as long as I don't have to like as long as it doesn't become annoying and like that's all that they focus on. Like I would say modern Star Wars is a good example. Like the Force is female, and I don't have a problem with a strong female lead, but like they've pushed this narrative for so long. Like all these, again, I don't have a problem with strong female leads. I don't care. Just make
Hmm.
them good, like original Princess Leia. But the problem is they've made just this crappy like Ray syndrome, and that's I personally think that's where it all began. Is like Ray Skywalker, and like she's badass and she's so cool and she's so good, and like I'm getting off on a tangent here, but I think you get what I'm saying. Like I don't want to hear about it the whole time. Like I think that I gotta calm myself down here, but I think the main point is just I don't think it really matters. I I respect Doctor Disrespect, and I do think that if you care about the future of something, you do have to be a little bit of a watch guard. Like you gotta like call people out for things that are legitimate concerns, but I'm not sure this was one of them. So
Yeah. Yeah. Mostly what Doctor Disrespect was mad at was because like he had reached out to Bethesda for a sponsorship deal and stuff, and they couldn't because of recent controversies and people. I have never seen well. I'm not gonna. Honestly, he has said some pretty racist things in the past, especially on PUBG and stuff. But regardless, people were talking about because I guess he may or may not have said something transphobic. I have no idea. I've never seen a clip of him saying anything like that. But like people were just like dogging on him on Twitter because of that. And but some other people are like, well, it's because of the whole Twitch thing when he got banned off Twitch, and no one knows why, and maybe Bethesda does, and it's just this whole thing that I don't think we really should be like putting our nose into. I don't think the doc should have really posted that, honestly, just because these people just take things. And I even like said it like in a quote tweet that because someone had posted the clip of him talking about not getting a sponsorship, and then someone quoted with this with like twice the amount of likes at like 43,000 likes saying, "Oh, it's because he's transphobic and cheated on his wife." And I'm like, nowhere in this clip was any of that ever mentioned. It's about a sponsorship deal. None of that is ever mentioned. He doesn't bring up the pronouns or anything because that's what I thought that Doctor Disrespect was talking about. But nowhere was that ever brought up. Um.
mhm.
Anyway, I was gonna say something else, but I forgot about it. So
No, you're good.
yeah.
Yeah, I think people dogpile on Doc for a lot of things, and maybe it's justified, maybe it's not. I've personally, and I feel like I've watched a lot of his content, not all of it. I can't watch 8 hours a day of it, but
Yeah.
you see his clips all over. Like I've never seen anything that he's done like super hateful or anything. So I think people just don't like Doc. I think that people hate successful people. Um, oh, I don't know if well, maybe we'll bring it up later. No, I'm gonna bring it up now because I don't know if we'll get to it later.
Okay.
Did you see the Jacksepticeye? What he said about Mr. Beast?
Yeah, I was like ruining YouTube.
Yeah, it's like the most nonsense take, and it's like, and I like Jack, but to me, it's like if you think Mr. Beast ruined YouTube, then I don't know what you're doing because Mr. Beast is like the one that has been advocating for YouTubers and stuff for so long, and like genuinely, like he said, like I could have just bought cars and spent all my money and stuff, but I spent it on like I've given millions of dollars to other people.
Hmm.
But like to me, like it just seemed like such a jealous, like it was such a like Jack was jealous of Mr. Beast, and I think that people hate on successful people. Like it's just it's like a fish tank. Like the little fish always are jealous of the bigger fish because bigger fish can do whatever they want. And I see this kind of the same way. I don't think. I mean, I don't know Doc personally, but I've never seen anything he's done to warrant all the hate he gets personally. But
Hmm.
like people like to bring up him, cheating on his wife, which I don't think is a great thing. But what is that like? Does that change anything? Really? Like, is that really like people cheat all the time, and
Hmm.
that's like the only dirt you have on him? Then it's not really anything. So I'm not advocating for it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, people were also bringing up his TwitchCon incident where his cameraman followed him into the bathroom. If you remember that, which
Yeah.
like, why would you blame Doc for that? That's obviously the cameraman's fault for following him in there. I don't know. Uh,
Right, and like it broke a rule, but it was like I mean I thought it was funny. Like
hmm.
it didn't show anything. Obviously they can't show anything. Like it's a funny thing. I thought it was hilarious. Like
Yeah.
this cameraman follows him everywhere, and even into the bathroom. But I don't know.
But yeah. Anyway. Yeah. I mean, I still kind of stand firm with my stance on Starfield. Though I probably won't ever get it, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I think as more gamers, the people that don't want to pay, because that's the other thing I've seen about it is you can get it on Xbox Game Pass for free if you have your Xbox Game Pass. But if you want to pay extra to play it early, you can do that, obviously. So I think as more people get their hands on it, we might see some opinions change. But
Yeah.
overall, I mean, I don't think Bethesda can really mess up a single player game that bad. It's just when they do Fallout 76 type games that they screw them up. So
Yeah.
I've also seen last thing I'll say about it. I've also seen I think it was Todd Howard. I can't remember. Somebody said that the game doesn't even start until you're like 200 hours into it, 150 hours into it. There's like you have to play so much. Like that's when the game actually gets good, which I think is insane. But
Yeah. I will just stick to Skyrim for another 10 years. So you had written down a rock opera oopsie?
so I think I might have spelled opera, but okay. So there was. I just like to talk about The Rock. We've talked about him. I don't think he's a great actor. I think it's funny how much um, Hollywood pushes him as like this great actor because he's really not.
Mm-hmm.
But there was the fire in Hawaii. I mean, everybody heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, The Rock and Oprah. I meant to say Oprah. I might have put
Okay.
opera, but so The Rock and Oprah posted this video where they're standing there together in solidarity, and they're talking about the victims of the Maui fire incident, and they have this charity that you can donate to, and it was one of the most ridiculously unself-aware things I think I've ever seen, because you have these two people here, and they're both, I would say, close to billionaire. Maybe they're not billionaires, but I would say they're both close.
Mm-hmm.
And they are standing there together, where the Oprah's land there was one of the only. Her house was one of the only ones that wasn't actually burned down. Maybe I don't know everything, but They're standing there asking people to give to this community that they have their mansions in, which I don't have a problem with. I think charity is a net positive. Like I donate to charity whenever I can. I think it's a
Hmm.
good thing for humanity to do. But you have these ultra uber rich people standing there together asking you for money. And I
Yeah.
think it's like I said, one of the most unself-aware things that I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. That doesn't. That's I don't.
Like each of them, and I don't want to cut you off, like,
Yeah.
and I'm not like all for like saying millionaires should give all their money, but each of them could have donated 50 million, 100 million, and they wouldn't have felt it at all. A million, 2 million, 3 million, I don't know, like
Hmm.
pick an amount, but neither of them would have felt that amount at all. But just the fact that they put out this this charity saying like donate to this charity to help these people, and maybe they already have, I don't know, but again, self-awareness was a zero on that. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it just seems like they could donate more money than any of us could ever do. So I just feel like they should. I mean, okay, well here's like one good thing that The Rock did. He donated a ton of money to the SAG AFTRA writers strike people, and like that was pretty cool. I don't remember how much it was, but it was quite a bit. And but like this, like I mean, and this I can't think of any other like similar situations, but I know that there have been where celebrities are like asking for like donations to different charities or whatever reliefs, and like come on, like you have enough money to like put like water systems in different countries like all across the world, and you're asking me for money. I don't know. I don't think so. So I
Right. Well,
just
and sorry.
no, not good.
Well, and I think that's why, like, I personally, I mean, I don't know if you've seen the videos, like, Mr. Beast is a terrible person, and Mr.
Oh,
Beast is, oh, like, these people have to pay taxes on this Lamborghini he gave them. Yeah, no, duh. Like, you have to pay tax. Like, everybody has to pay taxes. Like, you could sell it and, just pay taxes and be like $500,000 richer. But
mm,
I don't like Mr. Beast in my eyes, and maybe I don't know everything. Maybe he's secretly bad, but I don't think somebody who's secretly bad would give all this money to people. But that's beside the point. I think he sets a good precedent. It's like I don't even want to know how many millions of dollars he's given away over the years, but I would bet it's hundreds, maybe
mm,
close to a billion. I don't know, but a lot of money. And again, like I don't know how much money you need. Like I'm assuming that like the Rock's mansion is already paid off. I'm assuming that Oprah's mansion is already paid off. Like how much money do you need really in your life? And I don't like the people that say like you should give everything, it's your money, you do what you want with it. But again, like you're saying, like that's a good, I didn't know that he donated to the writer strike, but I think that like it could have been a lot better if they were like, look, we're putting this charity up. This is to help the people. We both have contributed 20 million or whatever it is. I think
mm.
that is much more self-aware. Like I'm part of this community. I'm donating a huge amount of money. If you want to, this is the thing. But I don't think people trust them.
Yeah, yeah.
So, anyways,
Well, I have kind of a question to ask. Maybe I should have asked it before we got on, because before we got onto that topic, because I think I know your answer. Which actor slash actress ruins everything they are in?
yeah, you already know my answer. But okay, I'm gonna try to think of The Rock,
Hmm.
obviously. Like I just like I said, Hollywood pushes him, and maybe he pushes himself on Hollywood. I don't know,
Hmm.
but I don't think so. Like I feel like they push it, like they think he is this ultra uber talented actor, and he's not. He plays the same character in every freaking movie.
Hmm.
I would say the only other one, like he played in the Tooth Fairy for Pete's sake, and he was still The Rock in the Tooth Fairy, and I think for me, it's like so much of his personality is just tied up in being The Rock. And I
Hmm.
don't think he can, personally, I don't think he can separate his ego from anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Rock is definitely my number one choice. I'm trying to think of, because that's low hanging fruit for me. You already know that.
Uh-huh.
Do you have one?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you go ahead. I'm gonna try to think of another one because I don't want to just use that one.
So I have been watching a YouTube channel called Space Ice. He does videos about 80s, 90s, early 2000s action movies, and he kind of exaggerates them like this. He goes into the building and it explodes. It's really funny.
Yeah.
Well, he does certain people like Jean-Claude Van Damme, Arnold Schwarzenegger, some other ones, Rambo. I don't remember his name for some reason, but
Sylvester Stallone.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then there's Steven Seagal. he he makes fun of him relentlessly. Like he'll be making like Steven Seagal. I think Steven Seagal is just like The Rock. He plays the same
Yeah.
character. I don't think I've ever seen The Rock do a sex scene, but Steven Seagal does the most gross sex scenes ever known to man because he'll be doing it with like fully clothed with a naked lady that's like a quarter of his age, and then and then this like space ice guy will be like, and then in this car chase he gets out to change the license plate, and then he puts it back on, shaves his sideburns while his body double explodes. It's just like because in the movies he like gets his body double to like walk upstairs for him because most of Seagal's scenes in his movies are sitting down. Like there's this one movie where he's sitting down the entire time, and he's like, I think which by the way you cannot. His voice is damn near inaudible. So like sometimes they'll have someone off the street come in and dub over him because it sometimes his voice will sound nothing like him, and that's why because they have to have someone dub over him. And then it cuts to the actual people doing actual action and stunt work and stuff, and then it cuts to him sitting down, and the other person he's talking to is talking about how great Seagal is. That's just because okay. Here's a typical layout for a Steven Seagal movie. First, a strip club right in the opening scene. Then we're driving. He's on his phone, and all of the strippers are, "Hey, I can't wait to see you tonight. Just another day in Steven Seagal's life." And then he goes off to the monastery. He kills a bunch of people with his classic no look while shooting. That's kind of his like funny thing because he's like closing his eyes while he's shooting, and he's like, yeah. Putting his like gun around corners without looking where it's shooting, and it's just hilarious. And like that whole like license plate thing that I was talking about, it's like he'll get in a car, he'll get in a car, and then the scene will like change. The license plate is off. The scene will change again. He goes around the corner. There's a different license plate than the first one. Then the first one is back on. Then is off. It's like the weirdest stuff. And yeah, his movies are always the same. There's always some like partner that he has. Oh, and by the way, he's always CIA, FBI in some foreign country for some reason because that's what the CIA and FBI does. Which according to him actually happened. According to him, some of these movies that he's made are actual like retellings from his life. Which, if you know anything about Steven Seagal, he has like I want to say like in the hundreds of like sexual assault charges, and just lies about everything. He
I didn't know that.
he'll claim he'll claim to
terrible.
be like African American one day, and then he's Indian, and then he's Russian, and then there's him standing next to Vladimir Putin, shaking his hand. Just kind of that kind of stuff. He's just man. Yeah, I think he just ruins everything he touches. It disintegrates to ash, to atoms. I just think that he's not in Hollywood anymore as far as I know. He's kind of does his own money laundering movies that nobody watches. So, yeah, Steven Seagal was my answer.
Yeah, Steven Seagal, man, his movies. Like I remember my dad would watch them growing up, and like even as a kid, they're just like over the top. They're over the top bad, and it's like okay, so I will say this: and I don't agree with. I've seen people talk about because I've seen people make the comparison of Steven Seagal and Chuck Norris because they have like a lot of similarities, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't agree with it because I absolutely love Chuck Norris. I think Chuck Norris jokes are the funniest things ever
Uh-huh.
invented in this life.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I do see like certain similarities. Like he's always like the good guy, you know, and he doesn't talk very much, and like he has a low voice, and you know, and like, and I love Chuck Norris. I think he's a great guy,
Mm-hmm.
but and that's not my choice. But like I Steven Seagal, man, he's and like Chuck Norris. It's just a difference, I think, of like a good person who maybe doesn't like have the acting chops as like I don't know. Um, man, I'm spacing on names. Oppenheimer.
Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, Cillian Murphy. You know, and I think he's one of the best actors out there. Maybe they
Mm-hmm.
don't have quite the acting chops. But they're like a good person, and like they make a good fun movie to watch. But
Mm-hmm.
no, I think the Rock is obviously mine. I mean, I could pick John Cena because I think John Cena is exactly the same as the Rock. Any of the pro wrestlers that went into acting, I think, are exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, oh man, it's tough. Like I don't know. I'm gonna have to say, and I love him, and it hurts me to say this, but I see Arnold Schwarzenegger exactly the same way, dude.
Really?
And he has great movies,
Mm-hmm.
but plays, and maybe it's not the same question. Like I don't think he actually makes the movies worse for being in them, but I think he plays the same character in every movie. And I
Mm-hmm.
just think so many of those people that are like huge bodybuilders and like their whole ego is tied up in their size, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I just feel like they do like they act the exact same way. Like their body is there, but like they don't really. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a hard question for me because I don't know. I tend to like really have like a soft spot in my heart for certain actors. Like I could say Nick Cage. You know, Nicolas Cage is
Mm-hmm.
another great example. But I love National Treasure. Like it's one of my favorite movies, and like, but it's one of the only good movies he ever did. So I don't know. It's a tough question for me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really decide. I'll probably have to say Nicolas Cage if I'm being 100% honest. But I don't know.
Okay.
It's hard to beat The Rock. The Rock and Gal Gadot are probably the two like biggest ones I would say, the most egregious ones.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like Gal Gadot especially this kind of gets more stale as time goes on.
Yeah,
Especially if you've been watching the DC movies from Batman versus Superman to The Flash. She's just
yeah,
straight face, nothing there. So,
yeah. I think those two are definitely like male and female in Hollywood. Those are the worst ones I
hmm,
would say. But
yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to beat Steven Seagal though. So yeah. Anyways, that's all I've got on that one.
So, word is on the street. Another cupcake has been found.
Oh man, I feel like us as an online community have just been waiting for this day. So for those of you who don't know, EDP, what is it, 445?
Yeah.
Um, he resurfaced a while back. He'd been banned off of everything for whatever reason. He got on TikTok, got his popularity back, started getting his young fan base back. And today, I saw it on Drama Alert, but I guess Gideon, I don't know. Do you know the whole story? From what I could make of it, Gideon kind of baited him. He catfished him into meeting him. EDP thought he was meeting a minor, and Gideon was there recording it.
Hmm. Yeah. I'm not. So the full video hasn't actually been posted yet. Just a clip of Gideon in a ridiculous outfit talking to EDP. Um. Yeah. So that happened, and then some other lady, well, girl, she's like 17, I think. She made this video talking about how EDP was messaging her, and since she was 16, and just, yeah, messaging her inappropriately. And then EDP tried to meet up with I'm not sure how old this time, but tried to meet up with a young lady, and yeah, it was a bait again. So, and then he tweeted at Big Sexy EDP 445 on Twitter or X. We live in a day and age where little uh, stinky ass hoes can go around here purposefully and try setting us up. Bitch, get a life and get the F off the internet. So, yeah, he's not too happy about this apparently.
I just okay. I don't know, dude. I don't know how many. I don't know how it like. I don't even know what to say about it. It's ridiculous that he's still out and about. I think. I mean, innocent until proven guilty, I guess. But
Mhm.
it's been proven time and time again that he's trying to meet up with minors, and the sad part, like I just always think when I see something like this, um, these mean people trying to catch him doing something bad, like, well, how many times did it not get caught? Like, how many times was it real? And like, how many people has he assaulted? And I think that's a terrifying thought.
Mhm.
As somebody who does have kids and like trying to teach them, my oldest is 7, like trying to teach them to be safe, in an internet world. It's scary, dude. It's scary.
Yeah.
I've seen videos of there's this one video going around where this guy will like work with parents to like see if he can get their kids to like come out and meet him. He basically does the same thing. He baits them out, and it's the parents are there waiting, and they're like scolding their kids. But the world we live in, it's terrifying that there's, for every online presence of EDP, there's probably a ton of 10 predators out there that are just doing it. So I don't know. And I don't know how he keeps coming back and
I
gaining
don't know.
popularity. Like, I don't know. Let me see if I can find real quick his TikTok.
Yeah, so just to kind of recap, last time we heard from EDP, he was going to find help and seek treatment, of course, saying as vague as possible, so I'm sure people would not follow up on it, and I guess this is his form of seeking treatment and getting help. How do you wind up in the same predicament again? It just astonishes me, man.
Here's on so I don't know what his actual account is on. Maybe it's gotten banned. I don't know. I don't
Hmm.
know all the lore behind it, but there's
What?
a TikTok account. It's called ED Pedo Official. It has 20,000 followers,
Oh my god.
and I mean, I think it's just somebody that it doesn't even have EDP stuff on it. I don't. I thought that was hilarious, but yeah, dude. I don't know. It's again. I don't know how he keeps coming back into relevancy. This has been like 10 years at this point going on. It's ridiculous.
Hmm.
So we'll have to wait and update everybody next week to see what actually happens. But
Yeah. I mean, like Gideon of all people, really? Like the
okay,
last guy, his name was Rascal McGubbins. How do you get caught by a dude named Rascal McGubbins and then and then get caught by Gideon? Just okay.
how do you come up with a name like Rascal McGovens? First of all,
I don't
maybe
know.
that's a given name. I don't know, but what like just real quick because I don't know either. What is the story with Gideon? Do you know anything about him?
I think he was in. I might be confusing him with another black guy. I don't know, but it was either him or someone else recently left OTK, that gaming organization that Asmongold has. I don't know if it was him or not, but I think it was. One thing that he did that I did not like, he actually sang the national anthem for the Boogie versus Wings fight, but he had to read it off of his phone, like right there on stage. So that was kind of uh, disrespectful. But I don't know. I just think he's kind of in the same vein as like Aiden Ross and those guys.
Yeah,
He's just I don't know.
yeah. That
I know that he's a big name, but I don't hear much about him like specifically.
Yeah, that's I don't know much about him, but I kind of associated him with like Sneeko or Aiden
Yeah.
Ross. Or by the way, did you see the Aiden Ross, Sneeko, maybe Gideon was? There's like four or five of those weird. I don't know. I don't even know what to call them.
Red pilled
They're starting
guys.
a content house.
Yeah. Man, every time I hear about a stupid content house like this, I just think that like none of them will ever compare to the Z House.
Z House.
That was the content house. Like, yeah, I don't know. That sometimes I like think about it like what if they did get together for a third Z House and they just went full on with it. They'd be even bigger than all of these chumps that are out right now. So, but yeah, the red pilled content house. I can't wait to see what's going to come out of that.
Is that what they call it? Is that what they're calling it?
Um, I don't know if that's actually what it's called, but I've heard like Sneeko talk about like his kind of style of like I don't know, like red pilled content. That's just kind of what he's described himself as. That's kind of what I don't I guess like alpha male dominance, that kind of thing. That's kind of what
Yeah,
they all
like
do, I
the
suppose.
Andrew Tate
Yeah,
followers, the
yeah.
tater tots, as I like to call them.
Oh yeah. So,
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. That's not the topic. We can talk about them another time. But yeah, I saw that and I died, man. Like I
hmm
can't wait. There's gonna be some great clips that come from that,
yeah.
or terrible, whichever way you want to talk about it. But
Yep.
yeah, dude, the Z House. I just got to talk about it for a second. Every once in a while, every year or so, when I'm really nostalgic, I'll go back and watch some Z House videos, man, and they just make me feel like everything's good in the world. Zombies is still fun. Everything's good in the world. Like
hmm
it feels so good to go back and watch those old Z House videos, and they're
Yeah.
so fun. But
hmm
it's I would love to see a return. I don't think they ever will. I don't think like Jack, the Lonely Mailbox. I think he pops up like every 6 or 8 months to post a new song, and then he kind of goes back. I don't know where he's at, what he's doing, but
Yeah, last I heard he is actually making some kind of YouTube content. I don't think he's making music anymore. I saw that he was at Matt or MC Sports Hawk's wedding. Like I saw pictures of him in it. But yeah, that I heard Lex talking about that, and I guess he's back to making content, but not on his channel. I don't know what for, but
huh.
yeah. Yeah, Lex was talking about how like everybody has kind of like they kind of went out to like do their own things, and they somehow kind of wound up making YouTube content again. Like actually Chucky is doing thumbnails for Mr. Beast. So,
Yeah, Chucky's making bank for Mr. Beast.
I feel arriving at the House of Zombies 7 years ago.
I just like I said, dude, like whenever I want just like a feel good moment or
Mhm.
like just nostalgia blast, I'll go watch like old zombies content or even like
Yeah.
a two pro for you games video or
Uh-huh.
something like that, dude. Like, just like there's nothing like it on YouTube in my
Mhm.
opinion today. Like even Mr. Beast videos, like there's nothing that takes me back like to such good memories as those old zombie content videos. But
Yeah, those especially the first Z House and like
yeah.
ZWC1, that was so fun to watch. I wish I could have gone there. That would have been awesome, but yeah. Yeah, whenever I wanted to feel like a kid again, I pop in some Z House year 1 content, so
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure. Yeah, and oh man, I could talk about Z House for a long time. So what else you got for us?
Yeah, I have another question. Who is the most cartoonishly evil person alive? And when I saw this question, immediately I knew exactly who to say.
All right, well, let's see if we come up with the same the same person.
Uh huh.
All right, mine is none other than the Activision CEO,
Oh.
Bobby Kotick. Because I just imagine, dude, I just imagine like in all the cartoons, like the big, the big money tycoon that like
Yeah.
he's like whisking his twirling his mustache, like, ah, ha, ha, I've got all this money. I
Yeah.
can't like I cannot think of a single positive thing the guy has done. And like maybe not evil,
Mhm.
but I mean I think there's a certain point of evilness there to go in and destroy something that, people love in this company and and eventually like what these CEOs do and him in particular is they come in, they suck money out of the company, they inflate them to make all this money, they suck the money out of them and then they leave and then they just leave them in ruin. So that's
Mhm.
mine. I think a cartoon about him. I made a thumbnail, like, it was one of the first thumbnails I made for the channel that I enjoyed way too much. But in doing that, I saw a lot of cartoons and thumbnails people had made about him, and they were hilarious. So,
Well, like, just look at the guy. Even if like
yeah,
he looks like, I don't even know. He just looks like an I
yeah, no,
can't
I know
think
what
of
you mean. Like,
the first thing Bobby Kotick devil memes.
yeah. So, like, I don't know, like, particularly evil, evil, but dude, that's like when you said that, that was the first thing that came to my mind. And I hate him so much. I hate what he's done to Call of Duty.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think you could like make a cartoon about what he's done as Activision CEO, and it would be like just him as this evil little, and it's like he looks short. He's short, fat, if I can say fat. This little short, stout guy,
Hmm.
and he looks like a cartoon character.
I heard this interview with him a while ago, and Nero Cinema made a video about it because he, especially during Black Ops 4's life cycle, when like supply drops in the shop or pushed very heavily, he would post pictures of like of well Bobby Kotick with like devil horns and stuff and money on fire in the background for his thumbnails, and then this interview came out with Bobby talking about how it's hard for him to like date people anymore because they look him up online, and there's photos of him like photoshopped as the devil.
I'm sorry, you took like a $50 million salary last year. I don't care.
Yeah, and fired a ton of employees because of it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, hundreds of employees were gone for that. But
Yes.
yeah, that's mine. What about you? What you got?
Well, somehow I completely forgot about Bobby Kotick. But instead I chose another short, stubby man, Kim Jong Un. He just screams like what's what Doctor Evil? What's that? Is that guy's name from Austin Powers?
Yeah,
That
the guy in white.
yeah.
I think it's Doctor Evil. Yeah.
Yeah, let me see for uh I don't want to see dead sexy facts about Austin Powers. Okay. Let's
Yeah,
make sure I
Doctor
have this
Evil.
right.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
this guy.
Anyway, so yeah, but he just reminds me of that character because it's just he just looks like what your typical evil guy would look like Bobby Kotick, and especially compared to literally everyone else in this country who are all malnourished and skinny and starving, and he's just eating everything up there. He's just I don't know, man, and like I think he's just like the bane to like every world power, man. He's just not anybody's friend. He just kind of sticks to his depressing country and builds his nukes and enslaves his people.
I honestly didn't think about him, but that is perfect, dude. And you're right. Like he fits like the perfect like stereotypes of like the Doctor Evil or uh what's the did you ever see Spaceballs?
A long time ago.
It's like a knockoff of Star Wars, it's
Yeah.
like but like that same like the little short guy that little man syndrome that like he wants to control the world
Hmm.
and he's like this little tiny guy and like small PP energy type guy and That's perfect, man. Like I thought that mine was funny, but I think yours is even better because it's true. Like, and he's like a cartoonishly evil, like an actual evil person. You know, he runs a dictatorship, and his people are all starving, and he's like this. You know, he's probably like 100 pounds overweight,
Hmm.
while the rest of his country are, eating garbage.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my
The
answer.
the other one I thought of, and
Hmm.
I now that you brought up him, I feel like I can bring mine up. I was thinking of Putin.
Oh,
And
yeah.
just like he would fit that too. Like I just feel like, but like he actually, I mean, I don't like to give credit to a what I do think is an evil dictator, but he actually like was like in their secret service, and he knows like Krav Maga and all this stuff. He's actually kind of a badass type of guy, even
Hmm.
though he's evil. But he was my other one I kind of thought of. So
Yeah, well, like before the whole Ukraine invasion, people would like make memes about him, like just walking down the hallway with his body stretched sideways. Yeah, that's a good one. Honestly, you could put probably a lot more world leaders up there in this description, but
well, and it's really sad how many world leaders I think would fit that criteria.
hmm
If you set like a criteria for like a cartoonishly evil person,
yeah.
I think a lot of people would fit that, honestly.
hmm
Pretty much any politician whatsoever. So
hmm All right, well, I think we're on to our last topic.
the main event, I love this part.
Always, yes, sir. We are back with the Facebook Marketplace. We have a few more images than last time, so yeah, it's a juicy one. Um, yeah, do you want to start us off here? The first two images
Oh
are
no.
tied.
Okay, so this one is and this one hurts me because I'm a car lover.
hmm
It's a 1968 Pontiac Firebird, which definitely was on fire at some point. They want 5,500, drop down from 7,500.
Yeah.
And this is the description. No title, 68 Firebird body and sun frame, no motor, no transmission, no rear end. Comes with doors, fenders, and multiple other pieces. Serious hot rod builders, only rare find. No title, just the shell and parts, no rust, no bondo, and floors are perfect. Trunk too, no body damage, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, no, really? No body damage, huh?
Oh yeah.
Wow. But the floors in the trunk are perfect. They're primo.
Yeah. Clearly, this has been sitting in someone's backyard for like 20 years at least.
Oh, at least, man. Which is sad. Like a person, I hope one day I'll happen across like a Charger or a Firebird or a Camaro or something in like rough shape, and someone will give it to me for a couple thousand. But people know their worth, and people will do crap like this too, which is ridiculous. But all right,
Mhm.
go on with the next one.
Next up, we have a dinosaur chip. We have a dinosaur chip for $5. It's yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, someone found a chip, they got lucky, and it's like cracked in the shape of a dinosaur. So it's a
I feel
collector's
like
item.
I feel like this is like the four-leaf clover type of situation here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like it's like a unicorn. Like you will never see this again. But
hmm
also they're hoping someone will pay $5 for it. So
yeah.
okay. All right, so we have a microwave marked down from $10 to free, and in the reflection of the microwave, you just see this person, and they're sitting. Their legs are spread as far as they can go. It's almost like they're showing off, and just these shorts, and you just see this person's crotch in the picture, and that's all you can see.
I have a how old is this microwave? I've never seen a microwave that looks that old because that looks like a light switch on it.
Oh, I didn't notice that until just barely. Yeah, this looks like turn of the century, like or not even turn of the century, like maybe like mid 70s microwave.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm guessing like 1970s microwave. The
Hmm.
handle is like, you can see there's supposed to be like a little like decorative like piece of tape on there or something that's just worn off. There's
Yeah.
no like, it looks like there's supposed to be a button to push it. And it
Hmm.
looks like to start this thing, there's a light switch that somebody has jerry rigged onto this front of the microwave. There's no timer. You just flip on the light switch to turn this thing on.
Yeah, well, it's free if anybody wants that. So,
I didn't even notice that. I'll be honest. I was looking at the other part,
oh, well, fair
the
enough.
crotch.
Yeah. Next up, we have a 2001 Ford F-350 Super Duty Crew Cab long bed, cut down from $100 to $50.
And I want to point out that this was driven 360,000 miles, and it has an automatic transmission.
Oh yeah, just for anybody who wants a project, here you go. Here's
That's a perfect starter project. And like you guys can see the picture, but it's just the cab. And it's not even the cab, it's like the dash.
yeah,
But it's like they cut everything off of just the dash. But it has a door, so
yeah. I guess so.
with a window. So
Yeah, partial window and a steering wheel too. Next up,
all right. Next, oh man. I love these. Next up we have a helmet Harley Davidson for 250, I think that's euros.
yeah,
And again, in the reflection, you just see the biggest pot belly, beer belly, whatever you want to call it, of your life. And just this guy that has no shame because he's taking a picture with his shirt off.
yeah,
It's great. It's glorious. You can tell he probably doesn't get on to the Harley that much anymore.
exactly. Yeah, that's yeah. I can't get enough of those reflection pictures.
This one's all you.
Okay. This is a T-shirt for $25 that says, "I identify as a threat. My pronouns are f around and find out."
So clearly we just have this guy that he's making t-shirts in his garage and he's selling them for 25 bucks a pop.
Yeah,
And he thought it was pretty clever.
this guy looks like he should have the motorcycle helmet.
Yeah, yeah. He does look like a pretty jacked guy though, so I'll give him that.
Yeah, I, I'm sure people would take that shirt seriously on the street.
All right, next. We we have okay, we have the seats from the F350 cab from a few minutes ago. This guy's just parting out his vehicle. We have Ford King Ranch Super Duty seats with, I will say, with the center console for $1,000. Dude, these things look like they have taken the brunt of 5,000 farts in their lifetime, and
Yeah.
somebody thought they could still sell them for $1,000. These things look hammered, man. I don't know if
Yeah.
you're noticing. I don't know if you've zoomed in on the driver's seat headrest, but there's a really odd stain there. I'm not sure what it is.
I see that. Yeah.
I mean, not to mention just the leather of the seats themselves altogether.
Man,
Oh,
how long do you think those have been sat on for?
20 years. Ah, 15 minimum.
Mm-hmm.
If it was 20, I would expect a little more wear and tear.
These are about on par with that sofa that we covered last
Yeah,
week.
I was just thinking that. $1,000 for that. Wow, dude.
Probably smells like cigarettes by the look of it.
Yeah, they don't look good. I just like that they included the center console. You know, I think that's classy. All right, next one's all you.
Next up, we have a turtle, life-size Ninja Turtle. It's Michelangelo for $100. And I guess someone got their mom to model with it. So there you go.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah, I feel like this is like a I don't know what to call it. I feel like somebody's advertising something else here. Personally.
Uh,
Yeah, that's not even life size, but okay.
yeah.
All right, here we have. Okay, we have here we have a ice cream from McDonald's, and it's like a mostly there's like a quarter of the ice cream in the looks like maybe a McFlurry. I don't know, an ice cream cup, and then there's an ice cream cone. How would you describe that? I don't know.
It's been sucked on.
Yeah, it's been sucked on for $10,000.
Yeah. And the details: condition used good, color
Oh, I didn't know
white,
that was in there.
brand American Plastic Toys, age range 12 plus years, character Chucky, age group 18.
Oh my goodness.
So this
I
was
didn't even
listed
notice
3 hours ago. I somehow doubt that the ice cream is still in that condition.
that. $10,000. There you go. You got this one?
Uh, I will be the first message person.
Okay.
So, someone had sold a MacBook, and apparently, the seller wants it back, saying, "I want the MacBook back."
I'm sorry to borrow?
No, I want it back to keep. I see you posting stuff in the group chat about how much you like it, and you're doing things I didn't know it could do.
I understand. I'm sorry you regret selling it. If you give me back the 500, you can have it back.
But it's my MacBook. I don't want to pay for it. I want it back. I paid more than that when I first got it.
I understand that, but I paid you 500 for it and you want it back, so I want my money back.
Please just give me back the MacBook. I want all the editing stuff you put on it.
Is this a joke? Are you effing with me? Final Cut is $300. I'm not giving I'm not giving you $800 in product back for free because you regret selling it.
I should call the police for theft. This isn't fair.
I wonder how often that happens. That seems
Yeah.
like a
Uh-huh.
I wonder how often people do that and then they call the police and they're like, "I didn't sell it to this person."
Yeah.
Oh. Wow. Okay, I've got this one.
Okay.
Okay. Cooker for sale. Just needs a quick wipe from smoke from smoke and pet free home. 100 euros. I don't know what that is. Listed over a week ago in Stoke-on-Trent, England. This thing looks worse than the microwave from the 70s.
Yeah, we got a knob missing. Maybe there's some
Oh,
water boiling in that pan. I can't entirely tell.
this is like it's nightmare territory, man. This is something
Yeah.
you'd see from like Fallout.
Uh,
Oh,
I wonder what the
just
inside of it looks like.
oh man, just needs a quick wipe down. But it's from I love. Okay, first of all, they called it a cooker, not a stove, which I thought was great. But I love that it's from a smoke and a pet-free home.
Yeah, that's very considerate.
Because if it's in that condition, what I'm worried about is a little bit of cat or dog hair being on top of it,
Yeah.
or smoke. Oh, this one's all you.
Okay, here we have a mini ATM for $999. The description: mini ATM with instruction handbook and key and open vault combo unknown.
Oh no. This is clearly somebody who knocked off the local convenience store, tried to open it, found out they couldn't open it, and they're just gonna pawn it off for $1,000.
Yeah, exactly.
But I feel like also I wonder how many times. I wonder how often, like as a police officer, you would monitor something like Facebook Marketplace for stolen goods because the people stealing them obviously like this is clearly stolen. I don't know how you have something like that, but you don't have the combination. You know, it's like there's
Yeah,
just red flags all over the place, and
exactly.
I feel
Yeah.
like all the police would have to do is be like, "Oh, hey, I'm interested."
Yeah. So,
Oh
out of
man.
all of these items, which one are you gonna buy?
I think personally, I have to go for the dinosaur ship for $5.
Yeah. I have to agree with
I
that
think
one. Yeah.
although the microwave is free and it looks like a lot of fun to run, so I might go with the microwave. I feel like it should be studied in the Smithsonian or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, those are
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
Wow.
dinosaur chip all the way for me. So,
But yeah, the oh man, I don't know, the crew cab was pretty good too. And those
hmm
seats, I don't know, it's hard to choose favorites. Like choosing my favorite kid. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Those seats were great too.
Oh yeah. Well, is there anything else that you got? Is that all?
I don't I don't think so, man. I feel like it was a really fulfilling episode. We got to crap on Call of Duty, Bobby Kotick, EDP, The Rock. I mean, I'm very happy right now. So
All right. All right. Well, thank you all for watching. Subscribe, like the video, share it around if you enjoyed it enough. And yeah, we will be back next week. Bye bye.
see ya.